So I've had to give up on the overheating for a little bit. The immobilizer has been acting up. It's actually working today, but last week I couldn't get the car to crank at all. There's a little bugger right there that's causing me all my problems. This car is an 06 Turbo, which was the first year and model. Even an 06 STI didn't have the immobilizer. And what happens is the immobilizer talks to the key through the RFID antenna in the lock cylinder. And once the immobilizer is happy with the signal from the key, it sends a signal to the ECU. If the ECU doesn't get the signal from the immobilizer that it's happy, it cuts off the fuel injectors. Couldn't run the car without fuel injectors. That's why I wanted to put a carburetor on here. So it's working today, but it hasn't been working, so I'm making plans to try and replace it. I actually am going to try and get rid of the immobilizer. I'm going to try and get an ECU from a different year. It's going to require me to do some wiring changes. I'm working on planning that. So while I've given up on that, I've gone back to trying to tidy up the wiring. If you remember from all the videos on the shift linkage, there was just a mess in the center column there. I'm getting all that straightened out and in loom and tried to get it all neat. I've still got some cleaning up to do under the dash, but I'm not done wiring there yet. I now have the lights switch figured out. I actually already had that one mostly figured out. I got the cruise control figured out yesterday, which was a bit tedious because I have a cruise lever from a different year car because I wanted the one that had the on-off switch in the end instead of the on-off switch on the dash and then just setting your speed on the wheel. So got all the wiring and pinouts for that figured out and got that wired up. And today I've been working on the wiper motor. Actually it was fairly easy to figure out the wiring on that one. Power to the switch and the motor come off the same wire. The motor and the switch each ground separately to the chassis, and then 3 wires from the lever to the motor to control the speed and delay. So now I've got that figured out now. The motor's just tie strapped here so that I can test the wiring. That whole unit doesn't go in. You pull the motor off and one arm off and make a custom bracket to hold the motor. I'll get to that later after I get body work, because clearance between the windshield and the hood and the wiper is key. So I'm not going to work on anything until I've got my windshield and my fenders and my hood all in place. But I wanted to test the wiring, so it's wired up. It's on delay, slow, fast, and off. I didn't make any real videos on the wiring. I mean, it's a video of me crawling around under the dash going to do for anybody. So on the docket for the rest of the day is to finish cleaning up the wiring under the dash and then get the air conditioner unit wired up. And then I should be done with all the cabin wiring I can do until I get doors, because I still have to wire light switches and not light switches, window switches and door locks. Or I'm not gonna have locks, I'm gonna have poppers. So, but I won't be able to do those until I get to body work and put the doors on. So get the HVAC wired up. I'll be done wiring in the cabin. I'll be done wiring in the engine bay. All the wiring changes for the new ECU will happen right here on the firewall where the ECU is. I'm going to make a harness that swaps from one to the other so that I can unplug one and plug the other one in. So cruise lights flashing. I got to figure out why. I know why my check engine light's on, is because I'm missing an O2 sensor. The outside temperature light's not going to work. I'm pulling the dash out anyway, but I did wire up some of the stuff to it so that it could work, and I put removable connectors on there in case I ever need to put the dash back in. So I don't think I'm gonna have parking lights. I'm fixing to try and see if I can leverage that into a hazard light switch, and then maybe I can find a little decal for a hazard to put on top of it.